Hey everyone, it is Liz, and I am back to do another political reading. It's one that I've been putting off, and I decided I would take a look at Josh Hawley and Senator Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz. I have my notes as I usually do, and what I actually got an email from a subscriber, and what they wanted to know was about the Senate Democrats had filed ethics complaints against Hawley and Cruz over the roles that they played in the Capitol riots, in the insurrection. Okay, so there have been literally calls for action, and for an investigation to determine whether there should be disciplinary action toward these two men. The ethics committee had said that we should also offer recommendations for strong disciplinary action. In fact, it was Sheldon Winehouse, Senator Winehouse, who said that, including up to expulsion or censure, if warranted by the facts that they uncover. So there are 7 Democrats that have that are leading, okay, this investigation, or they are the ones who are amplifying, or they are the ones who have put this complaint in. And so let's see, we've got 7. We've got Democrats. We got Sheldon Whitehouse of Rhode Island, and I think I wrote down. Yeah, I did. We've got Sheldon Winehouse of Rhode Island, Tim Smith of Minnesota, Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, Mazie Hirono of Hawaii, Tim Kaine, Virginia, and Sherrod Brown of Ohio. And what they're saying is that what Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz did was they violated the Senate Code of Ethics. This is a big deal. So, did Hawley and Cruz have the right to object to these electors? So the senators in their mind, Hawley and Cruz failed to put loyalty over country, loyalty to country above loyalty to Trump, and so in their mind, they engaged, and I agree, in an improper conduct reflecting on the Senate in connection with the violence of the insurrection of January 6, 2021. So by proceeding with their objections to the electors after the insurrection, what Cruz and Hawley did was they lent legitimacy to the mobs. It's also tragic. And I also looked at their numbers quickly. Numerically speaking, Josh, let's see. Where did I put this? Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. So we've got Ted Cruz. His birthday is, let's see, 12/22, and his life path number is a 51/6. In general, this is a person that wants to get involved in government or law or politics. He has the spirit of a warrior. In his lifetime, he must learn the desire for leadership with sound judgment and to uphold the truth. It's interesting because these are lessons that Cruz is supposed to be learning in this lifetime, and he still hasn't. The problem is that because he's a politician, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it showed up in the book that if he's a politician, there's a remote possibility that there's an assassination attempt. Cruz walks through life untroubled. He hides his inner fears. Even when he's really freaked out, we can't tell because he's got like that he just doesn't care look, but inside he is, I believe, really freaking out. And I think with Josh Hawley, which I believe, his birthday is 12/31, 1979. His life path number is a 69/6, which is all about material success, talents that are necessary to create success until he learns to apply principles of value to the work he's doing. If he doesn't apply the principles and ethics and morals and values that I think he was raised a certain way. If he doesn't do that, then there is this, it's interesting because he's distracted from his purpose. He's deliberately distracting himself. His life path number is a 46 Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. That's his personal year number. Um, his his personal year number is a 4711, which is a master number. Sorry, guys, that I'm all over the map here, but it was interesting because both numbers coincided with being distracted from your purpose in life. And he's completely distracted. He becomes, I believe that Howley and Cruz are completely infatuated with pursuits of worldly possessions and power. And there's corruption here, on with both of these men. So what I did was I grabbed my tarot deck. It's interesting. The deck I grabbed literally was the tarot that I teach classes with, which is my quick and easy Rider-Waite deck. Okay. And I don't know, I was just drawn to it, so I grabbed it. So I did a 7-card spread to see if there would be any consequences to Howley and Cruz. So the first 2 cards I pulled would be in the recent past, which was probably even before the insurrection on the 6th. We have Judgment card reversed. Okay, so take a look at Judgment. I hope the lighting is a little bit better, but in general, when you see Judgment card reversed, it's not a good, it's not accepting the responsibility, and it's the inability to even compromise. That's where they are. They have both Cruz and Hawley are unwilling to compromise. That's basically the Judgment card reversed here. I mean, when Judgment is upright, it's a second chance to get it right? It's a rebirth. Clarifying their card of Judgment would be which is interesting, the Ace of Swords reverse, which is, think about it, it's miscommunication. It's deliberately, manipulating a situation. Ace of Swords is all about the inability to express what's really going on clearly, to express the truth, and it can be like I think they were deliberately trying to create like a distraction right up until the insurrection, and even after, obviously, they're still doing it. Rand Paul, who was on George Stephanopoulos this morning, same thing. He just won't admit that Biden won and that he's our president. So the Ace of Swords here is all about, when it's reversed, it's about taking shortcuts. And it's about taking shortcuts, and it's also about cheating, especially when it's reversed. There's a lot of cheating and deception here. So I would say, they have been in a position in the past where they've done some things that are just unconscionable, and they don't care about their reputations. Although I think they care about their reputation with the MAGA crowd. However, in their current state of mind, where these guys are right now, I pulled the 2 of Swords first, which is, the 2 of Swords is all about, it's like unable to make a move, or you're deliberately not doing anything. You're not choosing to do anything, and it is upright. So it's almost like they're deliberately closing themselves off. See, they're deliberately closing themselves off from reality. They're deliberately shutting it down. They don't want to see. And it's interesting because what they're shutting down is the Hierophant, which is, the Hierophant is, it is conforming, but it's following the law. The Hierophant is about, following the laws and respecting other people. And what they're doing here in their current state of mind is they're not, willing to bend to the Constitution. They're unwilling. Their moral path is lost. And what's going to happen is, most likely, because they're feeling like they're being judged, I believe, maybe not by everybody, but by the powers that be. Because in their immediate future, we've got, again, this interesting vibration of the Magician reversed. And it is a very relentless, manipulating vibration. When the Magician card comes up reversed, I mean, it is manipulation. It's deliberately trying to, it's trying to control other people by manipulating others, and by lying, and by trying to control or deceive others. And it's unfortunate because that's a vibration of anxiety. They're deliberately trying to create a distraction. And it's interesting because, clarifying this card of the Magician reversed, I have the Knight of Cups reversed. And, this is a very immature, emotionally immature person who is prone to jealousy I mean, look at them both. They both look like whiny little boys. And forgive me if I'm offending anybody, but that's kind of how I see the Knight of Cups. Is someone who is dishonest, someone who lives in a fantasy world, someone who can break your heart. You know, there could be that there were people that had hope for Cruz. There could be people that had hope for Hawley, that they would do the right thing. But this is unfaithful in love. When the Knight of Cups is reversed, it's an unfaithful person. So when you look at Hawley and Cruz, they have been manipulating and unfaithful. Now, looking at their immediate future, that's their immediate future, the action for them. The best course of action shows up with the first card of the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of money and possessions. It's a solitary card. It's working by yourself, making money. You know, it can be fertility, by the way, but in their circumstances, when I look at the Nine of Pentacles, yeah, it's really, they're very absorbed with their finances, with their material life. You know, I mean, I think that both of these guys maybe inherited money. I think that Hawley did, but their money is very important to them. And so in their immediate future, they're worried about their money. Look at that, the Nine of Pentacles. They're worried about the power that they're going to lose. The Nine of Swords is all about it's grief, it's emotional pain, it's suffering, it's guilt. So I feel like, there's an undercurrent, obviously, of guilt going on here. They're not sleeping. I can see both of them tossing and turning at night. There is some fear and self-doubt underneath that cloud there. So really only time will tell what will, in their minds, they think this is just going to pass. But I believe that because they're worried, again, they're worried about their power. Think about it. What I do know is that they're both losing financial, like campaign fund money. Is like there are people pulling away from them. It's a result of their behavior, their actions, their inaction. So other people around them in the future, we have the first card of the Emperor. And, the Emperor is the father. He is, a leader. He's in a position of leadership. And whenever I see the Emperor, when I do my political readings, I always think of the law. I think of the House. I think of, when I did a reading on Trump with his first impeachment, this came up, and in this situation, the other people are looking at the law. They're looking at the Constitution. They're looking at the behavior of these two men, and they're being judged. They are definitely being judged because you've got the card of the Devil here, clarifying the Hierophant. Sorry, guys. And the Devil is another major arcana card. There are two major arcana cards here. And the Devil is all about disregarding what? The law. It's about manipulation. It's about control. It's about lying. It's about deception. It's about greed and money and addiction, by the way. I don't know if Cruz has an addiction to power or if Hawley has an addiction to just being who he is, but, they have not judged people fairly. Their values are just not our values anymore. So they're being looked upon with the Emperor and with the other people, with the Devil and the Emperor. Seems to me that they're going to be judged harshly because looking into their hopes and fears, the first card I pulled, hopes and fears is all about how they'll be feeling in the next few months or so. I don't know how long this will take, but with the Empress reverse, it is fear, it's anxiety, trouble at home. There could be some trouble at home with Mr. Cruz and Mr. Hawley, but their life is out of balance. And they're losing, I think what bothers with the Empress reversed, that both men are losing constituents. They're losing money. They're losing people. Slowly but surely, there are people pulling away from him. Think about it. Cruz, with his life path number especially, this is what he's dreamed about, political power. He wants to be president. But you've got, clarifying this Empress reverse, you've got the Queen of Wands, which to me is probably Kamala Harris or any other woman in power there who sees what's wrong here. They know. Hawley and Cruz both know that whether it's Kamala or Nancy, I think Kamala Harris is this practical, kind, loving, emotional, attractive woman, very healthy and intelligent and competent. So I think they understand that they're not dealing with what I think they were hoping this would not happen, that McConnell would have the power, but he doesn't. He can try to filibuster all he wants. But I think McConnell, that's a whole other thing. I believe he wants, I think he wants this impeachment. He wants the impeachment, and I believe Trump will be convicted. That's a whole other thing. But I do believe that Kamala Harris or maybe Nancy Pelosi, the women seem to be holding a lot of power here. And the outcome for Hawley and Cruz, we've got the first card is, for them, it's not good. It's the wish card reversed, which is that problems will remain for them. They will be unhappy. They're going to have a very hard time in their future, because it's like a drifting apart. It's like when people break up or a friendship breaks up. They're Republicans slowly pulling away from them. And there are others too. I believe, if you think about the other Republicans, they might have to deal with some consequences of their actions. But for now, Hawley and Cruz, with the strength card being clarified, it's that the Constitution wins. To me, this is a card of tolerance, and it's character. It's being fearless. This is a vibration of having compassion, which they haven't shown. I feel like when I look at this card as an outcome for them, I think that we, the people, and have been patient enough with them. I think they're looking for some type of support, and I feel like the support they will not receive. And again, remember, what I see is that the women seem to be really coming together to make sure these men are somehow punished, that they suffer the consequences of their actions. And what I did was pull the last card at the bottom of the deck. Was the Three of Swords, but it's reversed. And when it's reversed, it's a bad card when it's upright. It's betrayal. But it's betrayal, it's deception, it's deliberate deception. When it's reversed, it's someone getting caught in a lie. Okay, so they were caught in a lie. And it could be that their relationship, there seems to be some type of a betrayal in their relationship between the Republicans, between the other GOPs. Not all of them, but to me, their relationship with some of the other GOP members could be troubled. Could be in trouble because there still is a betrayal. There's a disconnect now within the party, the GOP party. So to me, when I look at all these cards, I'm looking at that they're stressed out. They've been deceptive, deliberately deceptive. I'm looking at the behavior of, the investigation in the future. Seems to me that they're looking for facts, and what they find is that there's there's like I'm hearing paper trail of things that they find out about Cruz and Hawley that gets them to this point where they feel like these two men are not fulfilling their duties, and that we need to punish them in some way so that they understand that they're not all powerful. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. I don't know if this makes sense. I will, in my mind, with the Three of Swords reversed, again, I feel like I think at this time, this might drag out a little bit longer because they're being coddled. For some reason, I don't know who's actually doing that to them, but think about like Rand Paul, Jim Jordan, people like that. Lindsey Graham could be trying to coddle them, trying to comfort them in some way. But in the end, think about it, Lindsey Graham especially will betray them. I think in some way there's a lot of betrayal here. So I'm going to stop this here. I do hope this was helpful. I hope it was insightful. I hope it made sense. Feel free to leave feedback. I'd love to know what you all think about this. And if you have any questions, if there's anything you want me to look at, email me. I will post my email me or post your questions here. I am still booking readings. I've got openings available. I will post everything below. So stay safe, everybody, and blessings to all. Bye.